We'll go live in about a minute. Bang, bang. And we're back. I was talking to a dude earlier. I've known this guy for about 8 years. And he's lamenting to me. He's in disbelief. He can't believe his whole life, his life's aim. He's a professional trader. And he's just wanted to touch six figures one time in his life. Dude's been doing this shit for literally 10 years, has never, ever hit six figures. He's hit like 80, 90K, 75K, 92K, real close. And it dawned on me, and it was the progenesis of this last tweet that I just did, that you truly, especially in the masculine form as a man, you truly do only capture a very small pot of rainwater for what you're shooting for. And that's how it's always worked. That's how it's always worked. And I've said this before, and it's worth reiterating, that anybody that has a specific goal setting is generally very gay for this reason, by the way, because any goal that you set, especially when it's quantified specifically, is a self handicap. And that's just a fucking fact, because people genuinely don't understand how far you got to shoot the sniper past the target to hit the target. And his problem is extremely clear. You have to understand, he's a magician. He has built this whimsical, flimsy beast in his head. The six-figure number is a figment of this motherfucker's imagination. It's not real, but it's a barrier that he has put in place. And because that's the number that he's trying to achieve, this motherfucker is always hovering around five figures because it's just too cumbersome. Right when he gets to the cusp, right when he's about to break through, he feels that tumultuous pressure of trying to break through. Now, I'll go a step further. I think a lot of motherfuckers that have these types of goals, and I would definitely call six figures a small goal because this dude's in his late 20s. Any motherfucker who sets these small goals will typically purposely self-sabotage right before breaking through the barrier, because to them, the goal is the end game. And then it's like, what's next? So subconsciously, they don't even want to hit the goal because it's so fucking terrifying. What's beyond six figures? Is that really it? Is this all there is to life? because it's statistically impossible. It's honestly not real at all. It's not real that a motherfucker gets to like 85, 92K like 25 times and can never literally see six figures in his account. That's not real. That is 100% human intervention, and it's him pulling the plug and going back down the ladder to create and contrive the journey all over again, because it's so daunting, right? It's the dragon. We all build the dragons in our head. And this correlation is impeccable, by the way, because this extrapolates perfectly across all domains. Let's look at athletics for a second. A little unknown secret is that when I snatched 300 pounds, I was actually shooting for like 335, because I knew that if I actually set my sights on 300, once you step up to the platform, there's like this built-in feature in the human mechanism where when you've obsessed and harped over a number for so long, it psychologically can break you. It psychologically breaks you. There are innumerable studies that have been conducted where people have legitimately covered weights with like little tarps and covers. And every motherfucker that stands up and tries to squat the weight without even knowing what's on the bar because the weights are covered, everybody broke their own record. Everybody did. Even the chumps, even the weaklings. Once they stepped up and had that psychological erasure of what was actually on the bar, everybody performed at a higher level. There's some raw wisdom in that. This is true in anything, any athletic endeavor. You know, even Olympic weightlifting in general is a good example, because the reality is anybody can get a weightlifting coach. And after about 3 months, your technique is relatively the same as everybody else's. You can only teach technique for so long before the mental game is what really takes you to the next level. And the motherfuckers who have a stronger quality of mind are the ones who always advance and make a lot more progress than everybody else. Pretty simple math on that. Pretty fucking simple math. And so, you know, this motherfucker is languishing, and he truly, it hasn't clicked for him. And I did break this down to him earlier, and I think he got the epiphany. But essentially, for him to truly casually, and I want to emphasize the word casually, because any goal that you hit in life that's actually worthwhile should be very casual. There should not be an insane epic high when you fall into these things, because that's exactly how you squander it, and that's exactly how you fumble it in the first place. And I want to make that very clear. It's like I've always said, you go through life, you shoot for high targets, and then one day you end up in a Lambo, and that's honestly should be an accident. It should be completely haphazard that you just have enough disposable cash on the side and you're like, hey, today I'm just gonna wake up and buy a Lambo. But it ain't even no thing. Doesn't change it. Doesn't change a motherfucking modicum of anything in your life. It's just something that you did as a tangential benefit to attacking something that was a lot loftier. And so a lot of motherfuckers just have these tiny, tiny, tiny little goals, and they don't even understand that you just become your worst enemy, because you turn these goals into an absolute fucking final boss that you can't beat. How can you beat it? And it's crazy because the psychological thing here is so impactful that, I mean, you'll literally be 5 grand away from the goal, and now you're shook. You're shook. You are 100%. Your knees are knocking in fear, and your fucking cheekbones are pale, because you know you're right there. You know you're knocking on the door. And so it's like all the motherfuckers that have broken past these monster barriers, the 7-figure barrier, the fucking 6-figure barrier, they were shooting way the fuck beyond, and they just happened to land on it. Oops, was shooting for a billy, landed on a millie. Life ain't so bad. And that casual blase mentality, by the way, is really instills that confidence. It instills that confidence. This guy has no confidence. He has no confidence because his goal's too low. So everything in his body and mind is calibrated specifically towards inching closer to that number. So do you understand what's happening here? It's a self handicap that's been levied and imposed. This motherfucker put an embargo on himself. Not the right way to go about life. And that's why in general goal setting can be extremely fucking gay, because life is too stochastic. It's just too random. And so to handicap yourself and put numbers on the pinup board and think that that's all there is to life. Look, I promise you, and every motherfucker who's achieved this will tell you this. If you actually do set a number and you set a goal on anything, could be money related, could be a physical metric, could be a relationship metric. As soon as you hit that number, you are always going to be sorely disappointed. Promise you. Sorely, sorely fucking disappointed. I've never seen someone actually hit the number they said they wanted to hit and genuinely emote in that like celebratory fashion that you would think would accompany that goal. It's never happened. Everyone's like, fuck, this was it. This was lame. I wasted 10 years of my life to get this. Stupid. Stupid. And then I was talking to him about confidence. And I told him, I was like, brother, you have to understand, this is the entire reason why you have no internal confidence whatsoever, because your sights are just too fucking low. You know, I once remarked, it's one of my favorite tweets, actually one of the favorite things I've ever said because it's so motherfucking true. I did tell you guys about the seven-figure limp, right? I talked about the millionaire limp, and I basically said that if you're a man and you've simply reached out and touched $1 million liquid, I don't give a fuck if it was for 3 seconds and it fell through your fingertips like sand. If you reached out and touched seven figures for even a snap judgment moment in time, you, my friend, have the fucking millionaire limp. It don't matter if you lost it. It don't matter what it is. The fact that you touched it is going to give you that confidence of repeatability. And that's the best part about being a man, is when you do something once, you just get the inclination that you can do it again, right? You bag a 10. Now you just know that it's just going to happen again. So you can start playing everything much more freely and comfortably in your own skin. And so this is why having the lofty goals are so fucking important and impactful in a man's life. Because you do have to achieve extraordinary things just once, just for a moment in time, to create and instill that indomitable confidence that's not going anywhere, right? If you've made $1 million in your life, you know you could do it again. One way or another, you know you could do it again. But if you've never been there, if you've never even been in the realm of possibility of touching that kind of money, and it's not even in your fucking GPS in your mind, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. How the fuck you ever gonna get there? It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And so I guess my point is that fucking millionaire limp impresses upon you. It impresses upon you. It embroiders itself in your aura. It engraves itself in your skin, in the way that you walk, in the way that you move. We all know big hitters when we see them in person, right? This is like the whole physiognomy thing. You see a motherfucker walking, some motherfuckers walk into a room and they break necks. Don't even have to be handsome, don't even have to be particularly stunning in any capacity. Some motherfuckers just walk into a room and everyone's breaking their neck. Who the fuck is this motherfucker? Well, guess what? That comes from the etchings and these delineations of hitting these lofty goals gives you a confidence that 100% is a fucking ray beam. It's a fucking ray beam. Every motherfucker knows when a motherfucker's done something extraordinary, because that shit doesn't go away. You understand? It's like once you do these things once, suddenly all the voices in your head, all the critics, your parents, your fucking peers, your coevals, you don't give a fuck what anybody else has to say anymore, because you reached out and did it. So you don't give a fuck what anybody else has to say. about what's possible or what you can achieve in life. Because you did it, right? I got a fucking 8-figure limp in both legs. I've squandered 8 figures twice in my life. I got the fucking I got the Decamillionaire limp. And let me tell you something. Motherfuckers know when you walk into a room, just your fucking gait, your stride. That's everyone, like every other thing that you're doing in life to try to be important or try to gain status pales in comparison to what I'm talking about here. Reaching out for extraordinary goals and touching it for even a split second. That's all you need. That's all you need, because as a man, you got to remember your experiences stack the fuck up on you. They don't go away. They stack and they stack and they stack and they meld and they gel and they end up welding. They weld together your persona and your character and your spirit and your heart. And that's how you weld all these mechanisms together in a very well, tightly knit, interlocked chain that can't be broken. That's why some motherfuckers are just relentless. No matter what life throws at them, they always overcome and prevail, and they're resilient as fuck because they've done it before. So there's really no feedback. There's no feedback in life that's truly negative for them. You understand? Because they've been there. So you'll do it again. And you'll do it again, and you'll do it again, and you'll do it again, and you'll do it again. And every time you do it again, and every time you step up to the fucking plate and you do it again, you're embroidering that aura. You know what I'm saying? This is what I was telling you, motherfuckers, like about, this is what's interesting about, um, you walk into a meeting at a 5-star hotel. 2 motherfuckers. It's an investment meeting. One motherfucker's broke, but this motherfucker has lifted the world on his shoulders. This motherfucker's a world champion. This motherfucker ain't doing too well right now. This motherfucker has had 50 million in his portfolio. This motherfucker's dressed in joggers, Nikes, hoodie. Then you got some other motherfucker, a newbie, a sapling, right? Fucking Tyro shows up, brand new to the game, young 20s. This motherfucker's sitting on 30 million in the bank right now. Very little life experience. Won huge on some fucking shitcoin, jackpot. Who do you think's gonna pull more fucking strings and push more weight in that meeting? Who do you think? Telling you right now, it's the former. Telling you right now, it's the former. 10 out of 10 times, 1,000 out of 1,000 times. Because the other motherfucker's too green. And this is what I was trying to tell you guys as men. This is like a very counterintuitive point, but it's really worth hammering home. Because I want you to really fucking understand what I'm saying. As a man, it's never about what you got right now. Ever. Ever. If you truly are living your life thinking that the next jackpot, if you suddenly had, because you could run this experiment till kingdom come. If you truly do take any random lame motherfucker off the street and load their pockets, give their pockets measles and mumps with cash, and the money matures faster than they did, it's a wrap. They're gonna fucking destroy themselves. They're gonna go on a mass fucking bender of destruction because your money can never mature faster than you are as a man, or you're in big trouble. And this was my point. It's life for men is really all about the adventure, the power, and the thrill. It's not about what you currently have, ever. Ever. If you think that cushioning and padding your accounts with a bunch of fucking cash is somehow gonna magically turn you into the guy, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. If you think packing on 20-pound slabs of fucking muscle on your chest is gonna make you the guy, you are sorely mistaken, my friend. Because all that shit's easy. It's easy. It's the motherfuckers that go out and seize the unique experiences and opportunities that end up with all the leverage and all the power. Status has nothing to do with money. I said on my last spaces, that money, muscle, cars, whips, bling, yeah, all of it works for sure. I'm not gonna deny that. But the caveat to all that shit is you guys don't understand that all of that is micro optimization. It just is. You could literally add 5 zeros to your bank account right now and you still just micro optimized because your mind, your body, you haven't caught up to it. So there's a mismatch. There's incongruency here. You understand what I'm saying? And as a man, it's very largely your experience through the world, the way people treat you, the way people venerate you, the way people respect you, the way that you get remembered in public, the way that you leave, that you fucking mark your territory when you're walking through life. It really comes from that element of congruency. That's what makes people interested. It's the congruency. And you can't buy that. There's no shortcut to it. And every motherfucker is looking for the shortcut. They think the next fucking get rich jackpot, they think the next fucking supplement, they think the next fucking scientific invention is suddenly gonna make them a fucking man. Fuck out of here. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. It's about multiple tours around the world. And you can, that's hyperbolic, obviously. Multiple fucking tours through hell, through heaven. You got to go everywhere in the human condition and the human experience. You got to go to the darkest places of yourself. You got to go to the lightest places of yourself. You got to go to all these different places to understand.